Hi, I'm Wendy Gardiner. Welcome to the Craft Academy. Today I'm going to show you how to make darts perfectly. Now, darts are used to shape a garment. Vertical darts will follow the contours and will be quite narrow, and bust darts or horizontal darts can be wider to give that shaping round fuller figures. First thing to do is to mark the darts. I have my tissue piece here. It's laid onto two pieces of fabric, right sides together, and I've cut it out. I've also made little holes in the position of the dart marks, and I'm going to use a vanishing marking pen to mark the fabric at the little holes in the tissue. And in order to mark the other side at the same time, I will use a pin, pop the pin through, turn the fabric over and mark the underside. Now I'm using a vanishing marking pen, but do check a pen like this is all right on your fabric before using, and if you're not sure, you can always use a chalk pencil which can rub away. I'll just finish marking those on all of them. And then I take the pins out of the tissue. I always keep the tissue folded up with the fabric pieces until I'm ready to sew with it, just in case I need to refer back to it. But as I've now marked the dart's positions, I can take it off. And it's always a good idea to remove the tissue as soon as you can from your fabric pieces so that you don't accidentally leave pin marks in the fabric. So setting that to one side, I will now take my separate pieces, and these are bust darts, so they are quite wide. So I'm going to fold it together so that the right sides are together and the wrong side is out. Find my mark and put a pin in this end. Now this is the tip or the point of the dart, and at the other end make sure that those two marks are together. So if I just pop a pin through, I can check. Let's move that over a little. That's now together. And again, pin. And I'm now going to stitch from there all the way down to the narrow point end, and I'm going to finish stitching the last 3 or 4 stitches right on the fold of the fabric. You can, of course, mark that line with your disappearing marking pen and a ruler. So if you're not sure about stitching in a straight line, angling like that from the edge to the point, you can draw a line. Remember, this is a disappearing pen, so this will actually disappear. So it doesn't matter that I've got a nice purple line. The only thing to remember is make sure that the line has disappeared before you press it, because if not, what can happen is it can be pressed in and become permanent. So bring my machine into play. Now always stitch the dart from the widest edge, which is the fabric edge, down to the point. And when you get to the point, don't backstitch, because that can cause a bump. So what I'm going to do is you either take it out and leave thread ties and tie them off, or there's another little trick which I will do, which I continue stitching on, stitch off the edge and then loop back. I'll show you what I mean. Start by going forward. This is just a regular straight stitch, back stitch to lock it in. And as I go down my line and get near the point, I still got that pin in the end, and I take it out just as I get there. As I get to the end, I'm stitching right on the very edge of the fabric. Then I'm stitching off. So I've now got a little thread tail. Go back in again. So I'm inside the fold within the stitching. I can now go forward 2 or 3 stitches, back 2 or 3 stitches, and that locks the thread. So that is my dart nicely stitched. And when I turn it through, I've got the shaping I need for the bust. Now the next thing to do is to press it. And when you press darts, you press the horizontal darts downwards and you press vertical darts towards the centre. Always, always press any seam that you stitch before you stitch over it again. And to press a bust dart, the best thing you can use is a ham, a dressmaker's ham. Now, if you don't have one, it looks like a ham. If you don't have a dressmaker's ham, a rolled up towel, or as you're pressing it, you can pull it up. And I'll show you what I mean as I'm doing it now. So I'm pressing the dart. Firstly, I'm going to press the stitching to embed the stitching. Then I'm going to press it down, and I'm holding it up because I want shape in this part of the garment. I'm holding it up as I press the tip because I don't want to press it completely flat. I want to have shape in the garment. So that will now fit and curve round the body.